My School, a Digital Story by Felicity Fitzpatrick. Ihi, 1620. I learn all about my iwi, tribe, and become an expert in a form of Maori knowledge. Awa, 1820. It's great learning to read and write, especially as they teach us in Maori. Now we can record all our iwi stories and traditions. This way they'll never be lost. Te, 1860. We're taught by Pakaha and are only allowed to use English at school. I don't know why, but I find it confusing and it makes me feel sad at times. Maka, 1940. At school, it feels like the Pakaha don't value who we are. We never learn anything about our Maori knowledge or culture or language. It's as if it's unimportant, which makes me feel unimportant. Piata, 1990. My nan tells me some stuff at home, but sometimes I feel like all I've got left of my Maori heritage is my features. Hemi, 2014. I love that I am able to learn in both Maori and English, as both languages are important in my life and in New Zealand society. Kia ora! My name is Ihi, and this is Te Wharewango, the place of learning, where I'm learning tapu, sacred knowledge. Here I learn all about my iwi tribe and become an expert in a form of Maori knowledge. I'm learning about navigating using the stars, but others learn different knowledge, like iwi stories, carving, tattooing, warfare, and environmental knowledge, just to name a few. I'm very lucky to be learning this knowledge, as only a few get to. Plus, the more I know and understand, the more powerful I will be, and the more I will be able to help my iwi. When I graduate, I will be a guardian of this knowledge, in charge of maintaining it and passing it on to future generations, so my people's culture and tapu traditions continue. This is the way my people have taught each other and kept our culture alive for generations. Kia ora! My name's Awa, and this is my school. We're taught how to read and write by the missionaries from England, which is a place far, far away. We're teaching them how to speak and understand Maori too. They try to convince us to believe in their God and follow their religion, but it just seems silly. Still, it's great learning to read and write, especially as they teach us in Maori. Now we can record all our iwi stories and traditions. This way, they'll never be lost. Hello, my name is Tai, and this is my school. We're taught by Pakaha and are only allowed to use English at school. I don't know why, but I find it confusing and it makes me feel sad. Especially if I get in trouble for accidentally asking a question in Maori, the cane really hurts. I asked the teacher why we can't use Maori anymore, and they said it's because the school won't get any money. Plus, they said it's uncivilized and we'll be smarter if we learn to use English. Mum and Dad are starting to use English at home too, because they don't want us to get into trouble at school. Mum reckons they're trying to turn us into brown Britons, but we'll always be Maori, even though they try to get us to stop doing our traditional Maori customs, like tattooing, basket weaving, and carving. Dad said when he went to school he got taught in Maori, but everything's changed now since the treaty. He reckons that ever since we signed that treaty, the Pakaha have had all the power, and they think they can do whatever they want. Maybe it's because there's so many more of them now. They keep taking Maori land, even though they said they wouldn't. When he signed the treaty, Nopera Penakero said the shadow of the land will go to the governor, but the substance will remain with us. But now it feels like they've taken the whole thing. Grandad says we should go back to learning at Te Wharewango, but our teachers say there's no place for Maori traditions and knowledge in the modern world. It feels like they don't want us to be Maori, but the same as them. Grandad says our knowledge is one of our taonga, treasures, and the Pakaha aren't allowed to take that from us because of the treaty. But Dad said Grandad doesn't understand how Aotearoa has changed because of the treaty. He says we've lost our power. Hello, my name is Marka and this is my school. We've just moved away from my family and iwi to come to the city. It's different here. I miss our wānau and the land. Hardly anyone speaks Maori here and I think we all feel a bit lost. There are other Maori at my school, but we have to talk to each other in English. Besides, some of them hardly speak Maori at all anymore because their mum and dad haven't taught them much at home and we're not allowed to use it at school. At school, it feels like the Pākehā don't value who we are. We never learn anything about Maori knowledge or culture or language. It's as if it's unimportant, which makes me feel unimportant. Luckily, Dad teaches us kids heaps of Maori ways at home so we don't forget, but some other kids at school aren't as lucky. Dad said this year it's 100 years since the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, but my teacher says it's not important. Dad says ever since the treaty, Pākehā have been making us change who we are, taking our land and telling us how to live. He says the treaty was a Trojan horse because the Pākehā tricked us, just like the Greeks tricked the Trojans. The treaty, like the Trojan horse, was presented to us as a good thing, but was then used to trick us into giving away our power and culture. Under the treaty, Pākehā were meant to let us keep our land and culture, but ever since then, all we learn in school is Pākehā stuff, and nearly all our land is gone. Hi, my name is Piata, and this is my school. I'm Maori, but I go to a Pākehā school where we learn in English. My nan says when she went to school, she got in trouble for speaking Maori. This doesn't happen anymore, but I still wish we could learn more Te Reo Maori and Maori ways. My nan tells me some stuff at home, but sometimes I feel like all I've got left on my Maori heritage is my features. Schools are trying to take more of what they call a multicultural approach to education now, which means including everyone's knowledge and culture. This sounds okay, and it is good to have at least a few Maori things at school, like Koreo Maori, Language Week, but it all feels a bit tacked on. You can tell the Pākehā ways and language are still thought to be the most important. Plus, whenever they talk about Maori culture, they make it sound like it's extinct and from long ago. We hardly ever learn about Maori culture today. Sometimes we learn a little bit about other cultures as well, like the Pacific Islands. It's cool to learn about the different places my classmates come from, but sometimes I think the teachers treat us just like another ethnic minority group. They don't put enough emphasis on the Maori culture, despite us being the only nationality indigenous to New Zealand. Hi, my name is Hemming and this is my school. I'm in high school and have been going to a Maori immersion school since preschool, or Koanga Rio. I love that I'm able to learn in both Maori and English, as both languages are important in my life and New Zealand society. My Maori heritage is seen as an educational resource or tool at school, rather than as an obstacle as it was when my parents and grandparents went to school. I really feel like my Maori heritage is valued and respected at school, just as the Pākehā heritage of other students is. Maori content isn't just tacked on, but fully integrated into what and how we learn. At school, we learn how New Zealand is a bicultural nation, founded on the Treaty of Waitangi. We learn how significant the treaty has been in allowing for the revitalisation of the Maori language and ways of teaching. Under the treaty, we, the Maori, have a right to maintain our treasures, one of the most important of which is our knowledge, culture and language. Although it's taken them a long time, the Crown or government is beginning to uphold their end of the treaty and are starting to help us protect Maori culture through education, after many years of trying to destroy it. However, as most Maori children are still taught in English medium schools, more still needs to be done to create a truly bicultural education system and nation. A lot of Pākehā talk about creating a multicultural society, but I think we need to work towards making it truly the bicultural society it was meant to become under the treaty first. At least now, the treaty is regarded by most New Zealanders as the framework within which the future of Maori-Pākehā relationships and a nation must be developed.